So I could do this. I could talk to myself about this for days. This is what I do.
Why would you even talk to yourself about something?
Well, cause this is what I think about. That's what I mean. I could just share my thoughts. That's what I'm gonna do. So one of the topics that me and OG was talking about recently that I do want to come back on is downloads, man. Because one of the most craziest things that happened to me that I don't think that I put much emphasis on or talked about in any of my interviews that I did with Osteen or any of my interviews. I don't think I ever talked about my downloads that I actually got in like the experience because I never really tried to put it into words. But I was really talking with OG and like I have a way to explain the way that it feels, or like okay, I could put into words how it feels to get a download, all right? And then maybe because y'all maybe get downloads and don't know, because maybe be on some normal shit, but that's cool too. But you know, I got so this is how the download was, all right? So it was like imagine as if you remembered something, like oh I remember that, and then like it was like I got like a vision, bro. That shit sounds so much, bro, but I'm dead serious, bro. And then like I ain't gonna say God spoke to me and all that crazy shit because I don't know that. But what I'm gonna say is that I knew that there was more to our reality than what I previously known, which was just that like, for an example, this is a three-dimensional object and that's all there is. There's outer space and maybe when we die there's a heaven and hell. That's what I believed. That's what I thought until I got these visions. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it did help me manifest and like it definitely changed and helped me become the person I am today. And part of the reason why I can do the things that I can do and obviously helped me write my books and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna say that I'm special, but maybe I am. I mean, that's probably part of the reason why I'm able to get millions of views. I don't know. A lot of things
Everybody, you can always say that you're special, bro. Everybody's special in their own unique way.
Yeah, but yeah. And then also another thing was out of body experiences. So when I was younger, right? I don't not know why. And then I'm glad I'm sharing this on live so other people can help me out, help me understand these things about my own self and about just self. Period, the embodied, right? But when I was younger, okay, I used to get these. So y'all know how you get sleep paralysis, right? Like, okay, cool. I used to get that a lot. Like, I mean, like every fucking night, bro. And I thought that was just like some like nightmare. I thought it was part of having a nightmare. I thought it was normal. But what ended up happening though is like it started getting worse to where like, and then this is why I started thinking it was nightmares, cause like, and then which if you go read online, people aren't lying. You really do start to see like figures. So I used to see like figures. So I was just thinking it was like nightmares and like shit like that. But then it started getting. This is when it started getting really weird because I started coming out of my body. Now, what I mean by that, gang, is like okay, so you would be stuck, gang, right? So I would be stuck. Like I would feel real heavy, like I can't move. And then I would feel like I was like yes, like real life jolted like forward. And then like I would like now I don't know about anybody else, but like it's almost like a quick memory. Like it's like you remember flashes of it almost. So it's like some parts you remember it fully, but some of it is like a blurry like memory. So I remember. So I was like I flew forward like you fly forward, and then I remember I was just so heavy trying to move, bruh. Right? Like once I was like out from the area that I was at. So like I remember I went from my bedroom to the kitchen. I was like all the way in the kitchen. Like I flew forward. Like there ain't no walls. Like you fly. Like it doesn't make sense. So, anyways though, uh, stuff like that started happening, gang. And then so I'm thinking that like these are nightmares, bro. But it was weird because it always was in my house. So I'm like, what the like what the fuck? And then this is when I start putting two and two together, and then like I started like realizing that maybe it wasn't a lucid dream, maybe it was a little bit more than that. Was on a Thanksgiving, we had a Thanksgiving, and like I went to go take a nap, and like the same thing happened to me. And then this time though there wasn't no like figures because I was a little bit older at this time right now. And like I didn't do any spiritual work, but like I've had my mind to like get it, and like that's another story. But anyways though, I remember I was like, boom. I knew what was going on. So I was like crawling, like I don't know how to explain it, but like I was like crawling on the floor. And then like I remember, I got through the door. Like I don't know why doors was like so hard for like me to understand. Like I can get through, bro. But like it was like you can go through the door. And then I remember getting through the door and then seeing my mom and everybody in the kitchen. And that's when it hit me. I was like, bruh, I'm having an astral projection, because also I was learning about that like stuff at that like time
I remember
too.
you told me about that. What you doing? Telling them about that?
Yeah, yeah. So you know what I'm saying. And then so that's what ended up happening, bro. And like gang and like so, but like moving forward, so but like that's when like yeah, I first started realizing. But so moving forward though, I didn't really find it cool. I kind of found it annoying, because like you trying to sleep, gang, and like all this shit going on, bro. Like bro, trust me, bro. Like I remember, bro, my mom and them wondering like nigga ain't getting sleep at, like no nigga, hey, at night it get crucial at night. Oh my mama, it got.
So was you sleep and woke at the same time?
Basically, that's how it felt like.
Do you know exactly what was happening to you?
Well, now that I'm older, I can.
You was existing in two states.
Yeah.
Conscious and unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit was crazy.
You was existing in two states, man. Conscious and
Y'all,
unconscious.
when I tell y'all that shit was crucial every night, gang, I would say all up to the age of like.
You know what, bro? I don't believe
14.
you did that, bro.
You don't got to. I'm just saying.
I just think you just made that up, cause for real, bro, ain't no way your mind frame was able to exist in two states, conscious and unconscious at the same time.
I don't get it either, bro.
You just made that up for some views, bro.
So,
You just made that up for some views.
somebody said the death baby mama. Okay, I'm gonna get to the death baby mama later. That's my million view video that just happened like the other day. I got some other million view videos too. Y'all go check this out. Let me continue talking about my own spiritual experience, because I'm dead serious. So all right. So fast forward, right? So I start really getting deep into spirituality, like obviously, and then I start figuring out what like astral projection was. Now here's the thing. When I start consciously trying to like do it, it was like I could like do it. Sometimes it would like work. I would just fall asleep and like stuff like that. But it felt like I was putting a limit on myself trying to like do it. And then it got to the point to where like I would do it, and then like sometimes it would just start to happen spontaneously again. And then I'm not gonna lie, when like I got more fed into life, like how when I hit like 14 years old and like I'm focused on like getting girls and everything, that did help me stop having those experiences. But when I start dabbling more, purposely trying to do that, it did start spontaneously happening. And then one of the most craziest ones that recently happened, and I thought it was a lucid dream, so I wasn't tripping. And then I had to get into now at this time, nigga. Yeah, I'm on that. Okay, now I'm not on the level I'm at now. I'm still on the level of like, if you want to put it into logical terms, like niggas that still be doing like witchcraft and like stuff like that. Bro. So like, I'm being honest. I'm on like that level when it comes to like my abilities. All right.
Bro.
So, anyways though, right? Um, but so anyways though, so like I'm aware the archangels, like you know what I'm saying, all that shit. So it happened again though. So I'm thinking it's like a lucid dream, and then this is the reason why, cause like it kind of was a lucid dream at first, cause I was at my job. I was like, what the fuck? And then like I saw like one of my old bosses, and then like it was like some like if y'all know like dumb shit. So I got to work on that. And then I was like, boom, and then I appeared back in my room. So I'm thinking it's like, boom, I'm like, bet it's like a lucid dream. So I'm all like, and then now at this time, I'm also understanding you don't need to be wasting time in these other states. You know what I'm saying? Take your ass back to sleep. So that's what I'm doing. But and
I thought
then
you was existing in two states already, conscious and unconscious. I thought you said you were sleeping and awake at the same time.
wait, what do you mean? I mean, I know what you mean by saying that, but like, that's what I'm explaining right now. So, what ended up happening though, is I felt my brother, bro. So that's when I was like, oh wait, nah, this ain't right. And then I felt like I heard like a knock at the door, like doom 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 doom. And then like I was like, oh shit. So then I tried to get up, but then I remembered I was asleep. And then so I was like, boom. And then so I went back to some sleep, and then so I got back in my body, or I became back aware. And then I got back up, and then I went to go talk to my like brother because he was at the door. But yeah, but that was a more recent experience. But also, so with that being said, though, and to end off on a out of body experience, I have gotten to the point to where I know that it's a thing, like, and I understand my experiences in it, but also understand that you don't need to waste your time if you have things in this space that you need to work on. Focus on those things first. Once you get those things handled, in your basic spirituality things handled, such as just knowing what your chakras are, knowing what God is, you know what I'm saying, knowing the basic shit. Because how are you going to be in these different states, you know what I'm saying, you playing around with shit you don't understand. People have been there and done that, and I'm trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying, unless you want to go crazy, feel like you're crazy, you know what I'm saying, do that. And then slowly, you know what I'm saying, work your way into it. And then once you get there, and then you actually finally be able to astral project, you're gonna see exactly what I mean. You're gonna be like, bruh, let me go and make me $1,000,000, because you also gonna learn how to manifest too. And that's a little funner. I ain't gonna cat. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes hand in hand actually. If you know, you know. Because once you know how to create there, you know how to create here. Only thing is those logical barriers, which is why you got to meditate and affirm. I know why we have the logical barriers here, and some of them I'm glad that we do have, and versus like when you're in your dream states, astral states, and like stuff like that. But you do have to understand though that what you feel like is our real life is also just another state game that can be changed and you can manifest. And I love it here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful that I'm alive. And even though we go through shit, which is just a part of this paradigm that you have to understand too, you have to be grateful that you're able to experience this.
Hey, let me ask you a question though.
What's up?
What do you think happens to a person when all this energy starts to separate?
Okay, so what do you mean?
See, I
Okay.
had a homeboy one time. I was able to realize that his energy had shifted.
Okay.
And I told him, look, bro, you seem like you off balance. Seem like you done, some of your energy done shifted somewhere, and you losing focus, and it's drawing the majority over your energy over there to the negativity.
Right, okay.
What do you think happened to a nigga when his energy started to divide?
Okay, so I want to first start at the top, okay? So, and then this is one thing I have to always remind myself, and as a conscious creator, you have to always remind yourself because it's going to help you. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, okay? So the energy is never gone, like how OG said, which is important to understand. It's just divided, so it's moved around, you know what I'm saying? So imagine as if you have a book, right, with a whole story on it. You can change the letters around to create whatever story you want, and that's what you got to keep in mind. And that's what you do in those type of situations. Create the story you want with the energy that you have. The thing is becoming aware of it. Sometimes people aren't aware of it, even me. Sometimes you are aware of it, but you have a hard time working through. Or sometimes because you be so caught up into 3D, which I mean, it doesn't happen to me that much, but sometimes you be, unless like something
It
really
happens to you a lot.
I mean, what I mean by like really caught up in the 3D, I mean like you don't, like you're not, like you crash out, like you go to jail.
Not that.
Yeah, and then but
Like,
like
I'm talking about, what I'm saying is you will try to fit everything into that dimension.
But my overall point is with that is like you just have to remind yourself that first of all, it is all energy, and like we do live in a multi-dimensional reality. You understand what I mean? And once you can remind yourself that, it immediately. So like, let's say if you on 10, if you say that, it's gonna at least, no matter if you on affinity 1010, it's gonna at least bring you back down to 5. And then you can work your way back down to 5 from there. And then that's what actually happened with me and my fiance. I'm gonna go and admit that. We gonna go in and skip past that. Y'all can work that in your mind. That was a quick drop. We gonna hear it and skip past that.
She's sucking another nigga dick.
Anyways though.
She's sucking another nigga balls.
What is another? So another thing. So another thing you have to understand, right? Is and then that's what I mean by reminding your own self. It's like cause like that will bring you back down to 5. But like when you're a master manifestor like me, you want to be back down to you know what I'm saying that 0 point. You know what
You
I'm
know,
saying?
when you was in that situation right there with that little female right there, when things start to crash and burn, I mean, you know.
I don't even want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, all right.
So when
Well,
you
just let them know they can find her at the Ringling Brothers Circular. She's juggling balls.
when you get down to that 0 point energy, right?
And he was
You
almost
have
there.
to you have to understand how real you want this knowledge that you're applying to be. So some people like, for an example, and then I do this to myself, and then which I try not, and then which is why I meditate so much, because you can bring yourself back down to that fire level. Like, okay, you understand everything's energy, but do you really understand that you're manifesting at every single point in second of time? And that works forward, presently, and backwards. And a lot of people don't know about the backwards re-envision stuff. That's high level stuff. That's actually the type of level of stuff that I'm working in now. But this shit is very real. But my thing is like, how much do you understand that? Because when you do understand that everything that you feel like is good, bad, is all based upon that whole circle thing, bring you
All
back
right,
to this
let me
present
ask you a
moment.
question. I understand that right there.
You have to keep that in
How do
mind.
you think two people come up with the same idea that don't know each other?
Okay, so all right, so this brings us back to the beginning of the conversation to what I was talking about. What happened with me with the downloads? All right.
Now
So,
you gotta understand the question I just asked.
oh no, I'm saying exactly what you saying.
What did I say?
So like basically to like make it simple, how can I think about building an iPhone and you also think about building an iPhone, but we never met? Okay, so I'm about to explain it. So this brings us back to what I said at the beginning of the conversation, what like happened with like me, right? So I never actually explained what happened to me. I explained what I experienced. But this is what was happening, right? So there's something called downloads that can happen. Now, you can do this consciously or unconsciously, meaning that you can channel things. So it's my time to teach this, ain't it? It's my time to teach this, ain't it? Okay. So, and then I said I was going to get into some spiritual shit too, so. All right. So, now, I mean, y'all don't have to believe this, and then I'll actually be grateful if some of y'all don't, because some of y'all don't need to believe it. And I'm only teaching y'all this because this is a part of the work that I'm doing. This is canonically spiritual, all right? And this also proves that a lot of shit that I do, but with my other businesses, this is why it works and why it's so good. So, anyways, though, you can channel things, all right? Now, you can channel things on many different levels, all right? So there's like the basic level to where like you can look at a video of somebody working out and then you can get motivated from that. That's very simple channeling, all right? Or you can have pictures of cowboys or Donald Trump hanged up on their wall everywhere, right? And then
What you say about the Cowboys?
I'm talking about how these things can have an imprint on your subconscious mind, and then you can eventually become those things that you program yourself.
Yeah, don't use the Cowboys
But it
as
happens
an example.
in
That's
reverse,
not a
too.
good example.
All right, so
That's not a good example.
Okay, so I'm
Don't use the Cowboys as your example.
It's a good.
Never.
All right. So look, watch. Let's say you have Donald Trump on the wall, right? And then like, let's say that somebody is like extremely in love with like Donald Trump. They can literally, if they know what they're doing, they can channel his energy and literally start to move, act, and become Donald Trump. All right. And then so now that's another level to it. Now there's a higher level. Yeah. See, and then.
I may have just channeled the Cowboys energy and became them. You might be on to something, nigga.
Man, hey man, I'm just a messenger, man. God channels. Oh, see, let me get to that level. All right, so there's another level. All right, and then so now we're getting close to what OG asked about originally, but I had to say that to make it all make no sense. All right, so another level is this. All right, so you have to understand that just like energy and a lot of thermodynamics, consciousness is the same way. Consciousness is never really divided. So people also, so this also gets into the whole thing that I try to tell people and they never believe me, but we all got the same soul. It's just a paradox and an illusion that makes us think that we all got different souls on the inside. But that conscience that and in that configuration that creates that conscience, everybody got, bro. But anyways, to bring us back though, all of us is also connected to this web, all right? And then also this happens with like,
Energy.
yeah, but and then
It's a web of energy.
but it's also with like bugs, like how bees, but it's like so it's like different. So and then now I wish I had my grid because with my grid I can show you. So it's like different oversouls when it comes to like bugs versus humans and like stuff like on that, right? But like it's all connected to one energy, but it's different consciousnesses. So I mean, it's different subconsciousnesses, but it's all connected to the same consciousness. So you can even channel some B knowledge, but it may be extremely quote unquote hard because it's not fit for you. But versus like if you wanted to, like how OG was like talking about, figure out the cure to cancer. All right. So now this is why that happens though. So it happens on so many levels. So first of all, your brain can pick up on the same signals that somebody else's brain picks up on, and then helps your brain come to that same logical conclusion as the other person. Or that could happen at a subconscious level, which OG was trying to really get at, and then which is the energetic web, right? Because you actually know everything, and you know everything, but it's at a subconscious level. You just really gotta bring it to the conscious. And then so like for example, when you have an experience, that's what they say that it's like you're remembering, because technically you are, but in a time sense you're experiencing for the first time.
Right.
But and that's some high level wisdom.
That's a whole different conversation.
But to ground it all back down to reality, that's why you can tap into these informations and then get these ideas, and then also somebody else can get these same ideas too.
It's a web of energy everybody's connected to.
And then now this happens at a collective level. So this is also, and then now literally this is in your, so if you ever got in trouble for truancy, ask the judge, why does truancy exist? Because see, I've asked these questions to like teachers, and then they've told me simple answers, but now that I'm older, it really makes sense. So there's something called a collective consciousness that they have in the government for all of us citizens that we have to have, that they want us to have, to make, and it actually makes sense because they don't want us to be stupid. They don't want us to have a dumb society. So that's what they actually enforce us to go to school or get some form of learning. So that's homeschooling, So but that's one level of the collective consciousness. So like for example, everybody speaks English. So everybody knows up, down, left, right, unless they were completely cut off from that consciousness. But you have things in your DNA, coding in your DNA, and then this is what I'm getting at, right? So like for example, and then this is what I was pointing out to OG one time, just on being funny, like how a dog, right? They will know to like scratch your ear with their back leg, or like when they shit, they like kick it without nobody teaching them that. Feel me?
Right.
Nobody taught you that, but you're naturally doing that because
it's already in their DNA.
Yes, you have these codings already within you. See, but these are at a higher dimensional level, right? And then now everybody's connected to this, but
just like you said, bugs and animals and humans are different.
But yes, because those are those subconsciousness. Those are those subconscious that's connected to a greater consciousness. Now, this is the thing though.
Somebody on it that's kind of slow. They was like, "Bro, what?"
I know, it ain't for him.
Yeah,
right
it's
now,
not for
I'm moving a little
it's
too
not
fast
for you.
right now.
Kind of keep strolling.
Yeah, I'm not trying to slow down right now. So, anyways, though, so this is the thing now. This is cool for doctors to understand, but also spiritualists, all right? There's two ways that you can access that oversoul. I mean, not oversoul, but like the overall consciousness, all right? You can access it through the DNA. So even though like a dog, human, we all seem different, very, very closely, right? But we also share a lot of the same DNA and a lot of the same information within our structures and everything like that. And we all share this main structure, and then let's just call it God, all right? We all got God in us, all right? That's literally why we exist. If you didn't have that structure, you would not be in this paradigm. You would be in another paradigm, which would be a paradox if you think that you're in this paradigm. Now, even like virtual realities, they're connected through this paradigm. Ooh, that's a hard conversation to get into right now, because that goes into the 20th dimension. But that's something I want to talk about, because that's something I know that's so important that people should know. All right. So this is about to get kind of weird, all right? So do you remember how I was just explaining that they're subconsciouses, but they're still connected? That's the same way that virtual realities and like stuff like that work, but also dream spaces and this space. They're all connected to this space still, all right? So it's all still one. But just how you can get, so do you remember how I was saying that through our DNA you can get to a bee's DNA structure and everything like that? It's the same way. But that's literally why we have to have virtual reality. So no matter how much you wanted to avoid virtual reality, that concept was going to come into our reality one way or another because that access way exists in reality. I'm so serious. Like that's science. That's actual science. Like I
Who don't believe that?
But I mean, cause you can probably see it now. You can see it if you have eyes to see. Now, but that also answers your question.
Right.
If you have any more questions, throw them at me. If not, I'm gonna think about something else. Cause
Nah, you know, you already know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They think we really just be up in this business. They don't even know we really. This is what we be up.
On me. And then because they're not asking questions. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is what we be on though, y'all. This is what we talking about.
And he said, "What you just say? I came late, bro. I'm not about to say all that again. You got to watch this again." But I can't get into another one. Look, actually, that wasn't for you. Actually, bro, just ask me a new question. Ask me a new spiritual question. One of the most hardest questions that you probably ever had, because I don't want to have a big ego, but I think that I know.
All right, let me ask you this question. This is kind of.
What is the most?
It's like a double-edged sword. Do you think somebody could actually have the ability to manifest something into existence without believing in any type of spirituality?
Yes, you do it all the time. That's literally what I was doing before I became aware of what I was doing. Like, that's called unconscious manifesting. So that's literally what all the bots do. But that's also good for us conscious manifestors because we can control how they manifest. Because they don't know that they're manifesting. Now, that's why we can keep you in jobs. That's why we can keep you as a viewer. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking, but I'm being for real.
Yeah.
I'm being for real. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose my viewers. I appreciate y'all a lot. And I be a viewer sometimes, but that's what's
Somebody
actually
say, what have you manifested in your life? I think you should give them a short.
I manifested you watching this live.
Give them, yes.
Let's just keep it at that, because that's very important.
Exactly.
And like, I really want you to understand that. Because that's an instant manifestation that you should become aware of. I manifested you watching this live. He said, what is one of the best ways to manifest? Buying one
through
of
God.
Through
God and pray.
Buying one of our manifestation courses.
Through what? Bro, the best way to manifest something into existence is to pray. Pray.
Yeah, we're going to just keep it at that. And if you want a more in-depth version, hit me up on Instagram and we can get into some coaching, brother. For real.
Here's the pray.
But
and then you can go back and buy one of his manifestation scriptures and then, you know.
Yeah, because actually God going to open your mind up so you can understand it. But actually, if you just stay on the live long enough, I may get into manifesting because that's one of the things I'm most known for.
Yeah.
I literally did.
Manifesting is a whole different other conversation.
I took on one of the most hardest manifestations.
You have some people that don't believe that manifesting is real.
Well, my thing is, you can't not. Okay, so I think that when somebody said that they don't believe in manifesting, I think that they're saying that they don't understand what that means by definition. Because no matter what, by definition, you're manifesting. Like, it's not
speaking something into existence.
Well, no, speaking something into existence is a form of manifesting.
Yes, but I'm talking about when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it.
But by definition, when you go to the store and go buy a bag of chips because you had that in your mind, that's a manifestation. That's very basic, simple, by definition. Yeah. That's what I mean by lack of knowledge. Because if you went to school and like you studied these vocabulary words,
some people be looking, they be missing the simple shit.
Yeah, it's like now what you're trying to ask when you ask certain questions is stuff like, okay, can you use the law of attraction or something like that to manifest into your life? That's what you should ask. And then also, what you need to add on that is conscious manifesting, because you're always manifesting. You're manifesting just to breathe. You're always manifesting. You're consciously manifesting. So it's just like your heart beating. Your heart's always beating. Now, can you consciously slow your heart down? Yes. You just have to become aware of it. It's just like manifesting. You're always manifesting. You just have to become aware of what you're manifesting. That's just like taking control of your life. So that's why when like the situations that I've been through, like I was going through homelessness. Not only was I reminding myself, but I was telling my fiance and like people around me. I'm all like,
You ain't
no,
got
no,
no fiance.
hold on. I'm all like, hold on. It's not, it's not the same as when a normal person who's not aware is going through situations. Because I know what I'm doing. I'm consciously putting myself through these situations because I'm consciously creating a certain outcome. I know what is happening. I'm very aware of that. Now, when you have somebody that's delusional or just stupid, they won't be aware of that. They won't be able to tell you what I just told you because why? They're not aware of that. And then also they won't be aware of how to get out of those situations or have a plan to get out of those situations. Versus somebody like me, I'm like, okay, I have this some business, I have this way to get out of this some situation, I have this way to get out of this situation. Now I even understand why I put myself in that situation. Like for an example, when I put myself through homelessness because I was manifesting through like business and everything, I understood that I had to completely break out of the old paradigm of supporting myself working through a job if I wanted to live the rest of my life not working a job. And that's something that a lot of y'all gotta understand, thinking that y'all gonna just save up $1 million and then live the rest of y'all life freely, just to see in a couple years, you know what I'm saying, you back to working a job because you haven't built up that mental paradigm to support that lifestyle. Some of this shit is pretty simple, basic business shit that you can read from Napoleon Hill, but some of it is also spiritual too. What's good, chat? What's good, man? We chilling like a villain, that's a fact. Now, another thing is staying down, because this is also another thing that I struggle with sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie. And that's just understand, and then that also comes back to the affirmations and then understanding your own knowledge, because you have to be able to stay disciplined and actually apply the knowledge that you're learning and that you even teach. Because it's just like a fitness plan. You can know, okay, I gotta go work out at this time, I gotta go train this muscle, I gotta diet like this. But if you don't do any of that, or if you don't consistently do it, then it's not gonna have an effect. If you know that, okay, I'm attracting money, I'm using all this stuff, I'm very aware of this, but then you over here freaking out, you're literally moving out of the damn timeline, the literal superposition of you doing this. You literally can't be in two states at one time in this reality. So if in the reality of you getting $1 million, you're on your phone right here because you wasn't tripping, you was having fun, lit. So all the right energies and stuff was able to come out to make that right function happen. But no, you started to doubt, you tripping, so you're over here standing right here. So none of those right things happen. That's exactly why you don't get your manifestation. And that's exactly why you gotta stay down. I'm not from India.
Smoking, throwing gang signs, shooting dice. None of this been going on around here. None of this been going on around here. I need y'all to know that nothing been going on around here.
My phone talking about some, whenever you want to come back and act like a child, bro, why would you try to, you kept me off the internet, bro, then you try to switch my image up. You came and got me for who I am, and then you gonna try to change me for who I am. I'm who I am, that's how the internet know me. And any people who looking at me as a bad kid, I'm not, I'm an actual great person, you gotta get to know me, right?
At least he improved finesse 2 times, right about finesse 2 times trying to do the right thing. He just admitted to it.
He did things for me, but he wasn't.
And the spokesman, man, back another edition of Urban Politician TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on the pivot at all times, man. That could come take me in that video right there was actually last December.
I'm probably gonna go and leave it at that. I'm gonna probably end this off because I can ride like 2 hours. That was some free knowledge for y'all. I'm probably gonna watch over this later just to get my own knowledge back. I'm gonna fuck with you.